like, that focus and that, it's just weird. So explain, you got to try not to make it merge it into a dream.
Yes, we are live. All right, everybody. Welcome to another day in the Milky Way. Believe it or not, here we are. And tonight we got Zig Zag Zilla. Welcome. Thank you for coming on tonight.
Well, yeah, you already know the email situation that happened before.
And I apologize. I said that I found out about almost the end of the show, and I clicked through the email and I looked and I went, oh, and I was like, wow, I guess I missed that. I felt really,
I didn't want anybody to think that I
big.
left you hanging or anything like that. You
didn't. That was all my bad. It was my bad. And I apologize for that because I missed that little email, and then, I see so many emails, and at work, I go through so many, and then I click that on the phone and you just look at, oh yeah. Okay. And then you just move on and you're like, I was so set on Thursday. Well, it was good. I had a show anyway.
I watched it. I thought it ended up pretty good. So, I mean, it was nice. Only my face is on it, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's all right. We were still on the same health topic. Like I said, we talked about plants, and we did this review. We did some of this book here. Everyone, we got the medicine, magic of and medicine of plants. It's a Reader's Digest book. And I think Lucky Stone said he had a copy of that. And tonight we're going to go through this book, Complete Guide to Edible Wild Plants, the Department of the Army. And I think a few people said that they had this book, which you can actually get this. I was down at Tractor Supply, and they have this right on the shelf at Tractor Supply. So there you go. Or you can go and get it through eBay. It was like, it was like $6 or something. Not a whole lot, or Amazon or something. They got it shipping. You get Prime, you probably get it for 3 or 4. So it's not an expensive book, but it is a good book to have, in your library to identify plants, because it does come with, if you can see that, you can see that it describes the plants, shows you pictures. It's got identifications, zones where they grow. If I was more organized, I'd have probably ripped the pages out of one of the books and put them in Xeroxed them, so I could just have them as a display. But anyway, maybe in the future. But anyway, you see that they tell all about the plants and stuff, which is really great. Some of them we have around here, and of course, YouTube goes all over the country and all over the world. So maybe you in your place will have these plants. Like here's bamboo, banana, baobab. That's like an African.
Believe it or not, I've got all of those in my yard, man.
Really? Oh,
yeah, plantain and all that too, and everything.
Bearberry, beech, bignay, blackberry, raspberry, dewberry. Oh, I love dewberries and blackberries. Blueberry, huckleberries. Oh, huckleberries are really, they got a lot of huckleberries up here and in Montana, and people are always got huckleberry jam or things like that. Burdocks.
Season, I harvested over 100 pounds of blackberries last season. Next year I'm looking to have more, but all I did was just make smoothies throughout the entire summer out of them. But it's crazy because you got to keep on harvesting them, because it's kind of, as they ripen up, you're going against the beetles in that aspect. But, I mean, it's all good. So if you sacrifice a few of them, to them, because it just brings in the rest of the predatory bugs that take care of them anyway. So.
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, you live on the East Coast there, and they got a lot of these plants because you got a warmer growing season. Now, like here in North Dakota, now I was going through a lot of these plants. And I'm like, there's, I got blueberry. We got blueberries. We got a lot of the huckleberries and the blackberries and things like that. But a lot of these things like cashew nut, that's never going to grow here. But one thing I was interested in for my area was cattails, because we have a lot of little ponds and ditches and things. And there's a lot of cattails. And believe it or not, you can eat a lot of stuff out of the cattails. Tells where they're stuff, and it tells what uses they are, and they make cottony stuff, and believe it or not, they used to, I'll just read that one since we're on that. Cattails are like grass-like plants with strap-shaped leaves. Well, we know what they look like. The male flowers are born in a dense mass above the female flowers. The last only a short time, leaving the female flowers that develop into the brown cattail. Pollen from the male flowers is often abundant and bright yellow. In the habitat, we know where they're found. They're all found all over the world in lakes and streams and canals and stuff like that, and everywhere, in ponds and swamps. Edible parts. This is the part that interests me. The young, tender shoots are edible raw or cooked. The rhizome is often very tough, but is rich source of starch. Pound the rhizome into or to remove the starch and use as flour. The pollen is also exceptional source of starch. When the cattail is immature and still green, you can boil the female portion and eat it like corn on the cob. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
It says other uses. The dried leaves are excellent source of weaving material you can use to make floats, rafts. The cottony seeds make good pillow stuffing and insulation. The fluff makes excellent tinder. Dried cattails are effective insect repellents when burned. So there you go. You can get all of that out of a cattail. Who thought, right?
There's so many uses for just one herb. I mean, there's so many different herbs that grow in, in different parts, because there's certain herbs that are native to certain lands. Like I live in North Carolina. I mean, I'm from New York, which I knew nothing about plants when I was over there about 3 years ago. But I don't know, man. It's just been so much. It's been very fun getting to learn about different plants. Like I learned more about growing, fruits and whatnot. Now is when I'm getting more into the herb part of it. Herbs, you already know they're medicinal plants. It's not like, you need to take herbs all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's better you take them when you need them. It's just like medicine, except you really want to use the natural way of doing it, which is, herb.
Yes.
Herb, you take them as medicine if needed. You get what I'm saying? Because there was a point where I started to think that, you have to eat herbs to be healthy all the time. But in actuality, you use them when you need them, and you eat a certain way, but you're not going to eat a certain way if you got, ailments or, deficiencies in the body. There's just, everything has its place. So I have a lot of fun in the yard. It's just, gardening is beautiful. You learn about the land and just let things grow and learn about them. And I mean, you never need anything after that,
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, I couldn't believe after going through some of these books how much stuff there was that's in your backyard that you could literally eat. And then I realized that the corporations have dumbed us down. Now, this is my opinion, is that they've dumbed us down and said, here, we're going to give you certain foods to eat. And that's what you're going to like. And they made recipe books with that stuff. And we've just grown accustomed to, and then anything out of that normal, circle that they told us that are good foods to eat is now a voodoo. It's bad, it's poisonous, it's, don't touch that, don't have that, that's bad, it's a weed, put some poison on it and kill it off. And like dandelions, we read about dandelions on the last show. And man, you can use the roots. They make a good tea. It cures stuff in the liver. It's the leaves you can make salad out of. You can actually eat the leaves like a salad. You can take the pollen or the head of the thing and make a wine out of it, or you can make tea out of that, which is good for all kind of medicinal things, they said. And I'm thinking, so basically that whole dandelion plant that we take as a weed is really beneficial. We should be saving them, digging them up and using them for something important.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, we have major organs in our body, right? And when you hear the word organ, organs, you play in a church, like they emit a frequency, you make a song out of them, Most of the herbs, this is why the herbology is big for me, as far as like, aside from it being medicinal, each herb, is in resonance of a certain frequency in your body. You get what I'm saying? That's why even people talk about planets, like people follow astrology and all that. Like all these things is just based on frequency. Like the planets emit a frequency. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
can feel the body when you harmonize it, or like, you know, with certain frequencies. It's just like when you have too much acids in the body, you neutralize it with alkalinity. You get what I'm saying? So it's always all about, but it's about neutralizing things.
Yes.
The reason I'm into it is because, you know, the way we've been taught is to basically go and kill things. Like, you know, let's say if you have mutated cells in the body, they radiate things, but it's also killing the good cells. It's more or less like neutralizing, you know what I'm saying? Like the stuff that's not working, and basically assisting the body and getting rid of it through your eliminative organs, because it's just coming down to basically stagnation. And these organs actually influence movement in, you know, your organs, which actually gets the lymphatic system moving, which is basically the sewer system. The adrenals get stronger, which is responsible for the autonomic nervous system. All these things are basically connected. And once you start to, you know, when Tesla said, think of energy, frequency, and vibration, it's not just to use these things outside of you, but it's just to learn how it is within you as well. Because everything outside you see is basically a reflection from what's within anyway. You know, a lot of experiences, man, just even maintaining a clear mind. You know, when people are into something so much, they go into like a meditative state. Believe it or not, man, a lot of the hunches, ideas, and things that have came to me doing things that I actually love to do, such as like, you know, gardening or drawing. And that's where I feel the real true communication is coming in between the plants and the person. It's not like they're talking in English. You know, it's basically like people hug a tree. You know, there's a chemistry happening, you know, oxytocin. You're giving that tree a human level experience. You get what I'm saying? Like when you talk about a human, you know, humans interact with each other in many different ways. It could be, you know, conversation. It could be sexually. It could be intellectually. It could be in any kind of way. But, you know, there's always an interaction, and there's always going to be a chemistry. We're always having sex with each other, but it's not where we think of it in a lustful way. You know what I'm saying? It's just
mind coitus. That's exactly it. Yeah, but you're right. You know, on Saturday we talked with Max Vision, and he was talking. I never knew how much he knew about frequency. We have to get you and him together on a show. That would be really interesting.
That would be great.
He had all these different. He was wearing clothes that are what do you call that? They have the EMF protection stuff. And then he was talking about the different frequencies and about playing the frequencies to heal your body. And then he had all the charts, what you know, different frequencies look like. And then we looked them up. But he says, you know, those frequencies heal your body for different things, like your different organs all have a different frequency, and your body has a certain frequency. And if you resonate, have that, it regenerates you, you know, like you were talking about, you know. So.
I've looked up the works of Dr. Wilhelm Reich. If you guys don't know who he is, just look him up. I mean, he basically came out with the concept of how orgonite works, and it inspired me because I actually make orgonite now. And I make orgonite more in a sense where I try to neutralize these like pollution of EMF sometimes that we go around. But believe it or not, man, as you know, experimentation myself, I put it in the garden, and it's attracted a ton of frogs, turtles be visiting my my garden, and the plants actually grow very well, all in the presence of putting this orgonite there. And if,
what was he, a psychiatrist or a cardiologist? I'm looking him up. I'm trying to find it.
Wilhelm Reich.
Wilhelm. Not William.
Wilhelm, like HEIM. And then REICH.
Oh, okay. You're going too fast. Doctor, what is it?
WILHEIM.
Okay. William Ray. Okay, I got it.
You got him?
Yeah, okay. Wikipedia.
Right. He talks
Doctor
about
of medicine, long been member of secondary. Okay, here we go. Invented free love books. No, I don't think that's orgonite. Okay. Orgon.
If you look at orgonite, you know that's basically all stems from the word like orgasm and whatnot. Sexual energy being very important.
Okay.
Somebody reads up on that. I mean, it's very, very interesting.
I hope I got the right one. Can you see the screen if I share it? Can you see that? Is that the Oregon, but not forgot.
Yes, that's him.
That's him.
That's
Okay.
him.
There you go. Dr. William Wright claimed orgasm prevented mental illness and fought droughts, UFOs with giant energy guns in the 50s, and the government called him a fraud, burned his books, and yeah, he must have knew something. Busted up his lab and regularly, and now his modern day admirers have sunk more $250,000 into a documentary to redeem his name.
Yeah.
Dr. Wright's long, strange story about the climax. Wow. Interesting.
Think about connections between him and Tesla. When I look at Tesla and like the Tesla Tower, and then you start to look at, the whole, I don't want to mention names and whatnot, but the C word and whatnot, and even the when you look at that word, for example, and you take the prefix, which is VIR, man, it just sucks that we can't like say words here, but VIR, like you get the word virtue, you get the word virtual, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then you get the word virus, you know what I'm saying? So it's like all those things have a meaning, so it's very interesting when you start to look at even the shape of this VIR us, you know what I'm saying? It's so closely resembles the actual Tesla tower, and this actual thing actually emits a certain light. When you start to look at that, you would start to think, like, you start to hear the concept of what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and your body has to process certain things. However, even like when people channel energy, it requires your body to be an optimal peak level so that you don't get drained out. You get what I'm saying? But you got something called adrenal glands, where when you have energy channeling through you and you can't handle it, then of course people panic and you start to get heart rate. It becomes a scary experience. But a lot of the times, that's where priming the body is important, and things that we are actually coming in contact with, which starts with the word VIR, is important to be able to process, because your body actually adapts to certain things and becomes stronger. Just like kids playing in dirt, they strengthen their immune system. If I shake your hand, Robert, I mean, I'm interacting with your bacteria and VIR us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's about me processing it. But along with that, there's also an exchange. Believe it or not, we can exchange memory and a lot of that stuff. If we're really spiritually inclined, we'd be able to have a deeper connection. But we're just having just the physical 5 sense human level connection, which is basically where we don't know each other on a deep level. You'll really never get to know anybody on the deepest level for that reason, Yeah. But if you get to know yourself within, which sounds cliche, but it's literally how it works. You know what I'm saying? It's, first of all, even people that you meet, you're not going to meet anybody that's not of frequency of yours anyway. You're only attracting certain people based on what you emit anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you know that you're attracting, people that are not favorable, then there's something that it's all mental. You know what I'm saying? That's why they say the universe is mental. The mind is all,
Yep. That's why they say if you're going down the wrong path, you need to change your circle of friends too. Anyway, I got a question for you. We got so many good people coming in here, and I want to give a shout out to them. We got Renee Hutchelson, we got Isby in here, we got the Project Skyfalls, hello, and we got Organic Intelligence, who has a question for you. And she says, I have a question, Zig Zag. I recently had 2 teeth that broke off of old fillings. I had them pulled. Any recommendations to regrow or for the healing process?
So anything that you want to think about regeneration, you have to think about alkalinity. First of all, nothing that's in the acid or nitrogen side of chemistry is going to help you. You got to really get into the carbon side of chemistry when it comes to what you're eating. So if you want to regenerate the body, like aside from the herbal part of things, it comes down to eating fruits, berries, and melons. Now, if you guys want to study this in depth, there's a guy named Dr. Robert Morse, which is where I took my iridology courses. I actually passed, by the way. I just took my test. Oh, wow. And now, if you go into, because I love the way he explains things, it's very, very easy. You know how sometimes people want to explain things, put these long words, and when you look at even diseases, they get these long names. People tend to fall asleep and not really understand what these things mean. But the nitrogen side of chemistry is basically like animal protein, and omega-6 driven diets. If you really want to start focusing on regenerating, it's all about getting the kidneys filtering, getting the toxins out. And the only way you can do that is through fruits, berries, and melons. Fruits is watermelons. Your body's made of water. You want to get the watermelon in there, the grapes. Cantaloupes are very good, and grapes in particular, but all the berries are phenomenal. The reason that, let's say, for example, people even have teeth problems, it's not because of the food staying stuck in your mouth. It's actually the acids within you. See, what happens is that calcium is a very abundant element in the body, but if you're too acidic, your body actually uses the calcium as a buffering system to help you neutralize the acids in the body. If not, you'd be in big trouble. So that's why the body utilizes the calcium. And then this will manifest into, osteoporosis, arthritis, teeth issues, all these things. And you'll actually have nervous system issues for that reason, because you don't want to be having the calcium leached from your body because you're eating too much acidic food. So right now, what I would focus on is just eating a really, really rich, abundant amount of watermelons. And if you could stay on that for even 30 days, you'll start to see a big difference in inflammation, in hydration overall. You start to notice your skin looks better. If you ever were dehydrated, or you start to notice your hair looks better. All these type of things will start to improve because you're putting in the right kind of water in your body. It's not just because people think they're hydrating with just water, but the water in the supermarkets is not the water that you want. Those are inorganic minerals in there. You basically want, and it's not to live a rigid lifestyle, just to make sure you guys know this, but the water inside these fruits, especially if you could grow them yourself, this is really structured life force water. It's the right chemistry in there that's in tune with your body. If you really want to heal, these are the type of foods that are going to help you, because to me, that's a balanced diet. People talk about balanced diet and they want to eat different foods and think they're eating a balanced diet. But even when you see something called nutritional value, the value is, I always say, whose value is it? You get what I'm saying? Is it in the interest of having it a value for you, or the interest in the value for the person that's selling it? When you cook the food anyway, you're not really getting the same nutritional value that you're getting on that label. You know what I'm saying? It's basically denaturing the nutrient value on there, and it's completely altering the natural chemistry of what you're supposed to be getting from that label. So you're really not getting the true label. So to keep it simple, a balanced life force, chemistry, and the nutrient water value is in there for the body to utilize as proper information in a simple download. It's not a complex download. Like when you download a file on a computer, it's too complex. It takes a long time. People keep putting stuff in there, and all it's doing is putting the body stops processing that to process what you just put in, and then you start to store that. That causes fermentation and putrefaction and all that type of stuff. This is where you start to have inside out as far as alkalosis, So I hope that answers, it doesn't sound like I'm telling you go get, Colgate or fluoride or toothpaste or calcium supplements. No, it's not like that, because even taking calcium supplements is not good, because it'll start calcifying in different areas if your body's not primed to even utilize the calcium properly. You get what I'm saying? So it's important to get your body to properly utilize the calcium before you even want to intake any kind of calcium supplementation to begin with, because that'll just make the issue worse. All right?
Yeah. Oh, here, I got this guy pulled up. Is this the guy you're talking about? Dr. Morris?
This is a phenomenal. If you really want to watch one of the best videos that he has, watch a video on him that he talks about the great lymphatic system. One of the best. It's an hour-long video, but it'll explain. It's like literally whatever you want to go to school for 20 years to learn how to medicate the body or become a licensed practitioner. He'll narrow that down for you in 1 hour. The great lymphatic system is called. This is one of the most phenomenal researches you can do if you really want to start to change your life in a positive way. So I'm going to be doing what he's doing. I'm actually going to be doing iridology as soon as I get my certification in the mail.
Wow. Nice. Look at that. Yeah. It sounds really good. Yeah. So there you go, people. Look it up. I did it. It was real easy to look up. Dr. Morris, Dr. William Morris, or Robert Morris. Yeah. Wow. So there you go. You can look it up yourself. Good one there. I really enjoy finding new people, because there's so many people out there doing things like that, and you just don't know. But anyway, yeah. Well, Organic Tells says grapes, watermelon. Yes, she says I'm so upset about my teeth. I've cried so much about it. Well, we're sorry. We're just going to send you healing energy. Yeah, that's terrible to have
And
something wrong with your teeth. I mean, that because that's a vital part of your body. I remember my mother said the most important thing. She says, make sure you got good teeth and good health, and keep your teeth good.
hey, in the meantime, you know what? I could give you this advice too. This is actually very good and it's very, very effective. Do something called oil pulling. So what you do is you take coconut oil, okay?
Yeah.
Like the paste. You know how they got the paste coconut oil? Buy the
Yes.
organic.
Yep.
Swish it in your mouth for 20 minutes. Just do that for 20 minutes. Just play with it in your mouth for 20 minutes. This will get rid of tartar, plaque. This will actually aid in regeneration of bone and
Oh, wow.
teeth health, you know?
Oh,
very,
wow.
very good. Yeah,
Didn't know that.
organic coconut oil, and just play with it in your mouth for 20 minutes. That'll get all the bacteria, all the nonsense that doesn't belong in there out.
Wow. Wow.
And of course, and by the way, I could actually see the comments this time. I forgot to say, but
Oh, okay. Oh, you can see the comments.
I don't use fluoride toothpaste either. So stay away from fluoride toothpaste.
And baking soda. Big Al says, I use non-fluoridated toothpaste and baking soda when brushing your teeth. Yes.
Baking soda.
Bacon. What do you say now? You were telling me something about being alkalinic and the other acidic, and I read some places about taking some baking soda in some water a couple times a week, or maybe even more, to neutralize. Like when I took care of a pool, we put a lot of baking soda in the pool to neutralize the water. Right. What do you think?
So it's sodium carbonate, right?
Yes.
Again, if your body is not in the condition to properly process sodium carbonate, calcium carbonates, and all that, it's not going to do you very well. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, it's good to use it. If it's an emergency where you got like acid reflux, yeah, use that. But don't depend on that to alkalize you. Use the fruit. That's why, I go to the Socrates time where it says, let thy medicine be thy food be thy medicine. So any issues you may have, use that. That's gonna aid you. But if you got to use it for emergency purposes, the sodium bicarbonate, then do it. But those type of things will actually make you run to the bathroom too. Just be on the lookout for that.
I know I've done it, before, because I read about it. There was even Edgar Casey had something on it talking about take a pinch of baking soda in your water, a couple times a week or something like that. And so I did that, but it'll make you go to the bathroom quite a bit.
The better option instead of that, I like the lemon a lot more if you really want to alkalize. I mean, it's an acidic fruit, but it's got an alkalizing environment in your body when you put it in. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to do lemon is actually a very astringent fruit. It's actually very, very good for cleansing. I mean, when you clean with lemon. So it's very good. Matter of fact, if you have parasite, here's the thing. There's so many things online that, that you can look up that a lot of people actually don't know too much about. But if you look up Dr. Jennifer Daniels, I mean, there was something called a turpentine cleanse. And these things are actually made, to cleanse out your system. Those are things that if somebody wants to look up, her name is Dr. Jennifer Daniels. There's the Dr. Sebi's who starts to talk about the alkaline diet. Who's the other one? There was another one that I remember I heard about. I mean, it'll come to me, but there's a lot of people to look up online, and it's not to pull one person. You get what I'm saying? Start to see what resonates with you. Connect the dots. There's actually somebody called. It came to me just now. See, these memories come to you. You know what I'm saying? I gotta attract them. I want to make myself magnetic. This guy's name is Andreas Moritz, which I talked about, I think, in the last live. He talks about the liver and gallbladder flush. This is actually powerful because it's one of my favorite cleanses because it's very simple. The protocol involves, Epsom salt, citrus, and then extra virgin olive oils. But with this cleanse, you got to make sure you clean your colon before and after. You get what I'm saying? But it's going to make you feel like you took 100-pound bag off your back. That's how effective this is. Like you literally just release the stones from your liver, your gallbladder, you know what I'm saying? Where a lot of doctors want to take out these organs, like take out your gallbladder. Don't let them do that. You know what I'm saying? These things can be fixed by just doing these little simple remedies. And I mean, it's worth always a try. You know what I'm saying? Rather than somebody just taking something that belongs in your body. You're not supposed to, take things out of there because then something else has got to work harder to compensate for that. Again, these things emit a frequency. You're one big song. You don't take an organ out when it doesn't work. You fix it and you make the song complete. That's why when somebody's healthy, they say you're so vibrant, or, if somebody it's not as crazy, they say that person's not sound. They say these things because you're literally emitting a frequency,
We were talking about that on the last show. Something about, I did it in car terms because I'm all about cars. And I was like, your car has to have all these parts and it has to be working. It's kind of like you're talking about. You got to change the oil. You can't take the alternator and throw it away because eventually the battery will go dead. That's what you're saying. If you take that organ out and get rid of it, then the battery's going to have to work harder and then it's going to go dead eventually. And you can't wear your tires out. You have to keep changing them and you have to change the belts and you have to do all these things to keep that car in that good working order. And this is your car right here, and your spirit is the driver.
I like that you bring that point up about the car because it's so closely related. Like when you look at a car, even when it's giving you a check engine light, you don't know what the problem with the car is. Neither does the mechanic. You know what I'm saying? You can tell the mechanic, I got these symptoms or whatever. But nobody knows until you connect the car to a scanner, right? When you connect to the scanner, you get the trouble code and boom. Some people go to the doctor, they give them their symptoms. And, the doctor, how does the doctor know the person even knows what they're talking about? The person in pain may not even know what they're experiencing. You get what I'm saying? Maybe be a headache from like too much stress, but no, they just start, here's a pill, boom. And it's like cutting the check engine light. You know what I'm saying? And I like, when somebody, they look at the word tired. And you see the word tires when you're running, the car a lot. You know what I'm saying? You got your tires, you get tired and you're exhausted. You got your exhaust pipe when you're redlining the car. It's just funny how all these things are just connected with the car.
Yeah, and it's like you said, with the check engine light. I remember one guy says, "Yeah, I'll fix your car." It's what's wrong with it? And he says, "Well, the check engine light's on. Something's wrong." And he says, "Okay, $50 and I'll have it fixed." And he goes ahead and, check engine's light off. Yeah, here's your bulb. It won't ever come on again. But it didn't fix any of the problems, and see, that's the whole point. When you have a problem, your body yells out to you, my arm hurts. I don't know why my arm hurt. Why is my arm hurting? I'm just giving an example, or my back hurts, or I don't feel so good. Why don't I feel so good? That your body is screaming out to you. And then it's up to you to kind of try to figure it out. Do I need, I remember one day here recently, I was feeling weird and, I realized I hadn't drank any water all day.
Yeah.
I was so busy working and doing and busy running around. I'm sweating. I'm tired. I come in the house and I'm like, man, I am just all wore out. I didn't drink any water.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I drank a bottle of water and I rested for a little. I drank another bottle of water and got rehydrated and I felt really good again. But I literally ran myself out of water and didn't put it together because like in North Dakota here, it's really dry climate. So you sweat and it goes away, poof, just like that. And so you could sweat all day and, your shirt's still dry and life is good, right? So. Yeah,
the use of energy is important too. There's another thing I wanted to talk about with the car part. You notice how you talked about the condenser when it the alternator. Yeah. When you take the alternator is responsible to charge the battery, right? Yeah. So the alternator has to be running at all times.
Yes.
Now, if you take the alternator and turn it off, the battery will just die in time. Yes. It's the same thing when the car is turned off, right? The engine's not running, the alternator's not running, but your lights are on. Let's say you leave your lights on. The next morning, you're not going to have battery, right? But
that's
because
right.
The engine is running, your car has battery the next day because, the alternator was charging the battery.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing with us. Like, let's say, for example, you notice how sometimes when you're moving, because, like systems like the lymphatic system have no pump. So it's, you have to move. You have to try to get a good little sweat on. I don't know if anybody's ever noticed, but you notice that when you're sitting down doing nothing like a couch potato, you're just lazier. But the moment you get up and go to the gym, you use energy, yet you feel more energized. It's the same thing with the car. Like you're using the motor. It's not like you're sitting there doing nothing, paying attention to something, because you're paying attention is your energy. That's why they say where energy flows where attention goes, right? So let's say that's why you got to harmonize what you're doing with your body at the same time, and you'll always have that energy. You know what I'm saying? People think it's like, oh, I'm just not going to do nothing, I'm going to have more energy. No, it's like you have to move in order for you to feel more energy, because it's like something's charging something else. You know what I'm saying? Like the alternator charging the battery on a car. It's funny because there's times where I'm just like, if I sleep too much or I'm not doing anything, then yeah, I'm a lot lazier. But then the moment I'm out doing something, and I'm doing something actually that I'm actually liking doing, because that's another thing, you gotta like what you're doing, and you'll vibrate higher, you actually have more energy. You know, you feed off of things.
Yes, and that's exactly true. I notice it's the same with me. If I'm and I've been told that, go for a walk. Go walk, get the blood circulating. It's a healthy thing. I'm sure you've heard that 100 times too. You get that blood circulating. It's good for your body. Otherwise it gets stagnant, and it's like, how does, and it always made me wonder, how can my blood get stagnant? But, that's exactly right, Bill. It does.
You have your arteries, your blood vessels, you know what I'm saying? It produces a nitric oxide effect when you like when you work out, you like lift weights, you notice you get a pump.
Yep.
So it's like you're activating nitric oxide. So you're activating a pump. But at the same time, know that you're creating lactic acids, right? So that's why it's important. Like bodybuilders think that they have to always stay on that nitrogen side of chemistry, taking in all this protein. But at the same time, all that does is creates more inflammation. Yes, the growing stage of things. But think about this though, when you feel sore, that's actually lactic acid. What you want to do is that, because when you take protein, those are amino acids, always, all these acids, you know what I'm saying? You believe it or not, man, you hydrate the muscles a lot more, and you actually get rid of that soreness. And the key to building muscle is recovery. A lot of people don't realize that when you recover faster, you can actually build muscle faster. Because if you're going to the gym the next day and you're still sore as hell, you know what I'm saying? You're just burning more. You're not really building anything. You want to make sure that you feel good the next day. That's why stretching is good. Active stretching is good. Foam rolling is very good. You move the metabolic waste, and even massage. That's why massage therapy, but not everybody goes to massage therapy every day. But I got foam rollers. You learn how to foam roll. And the beauty part about the internet is all this information is online. It's not because when I was, I'm 42. When I was growing up, you know what I'm saying? I had to ask people. I had to go to libraries. Now it's like everything's just at the touch of your finger. Internet is beautiful. It's got pros and cons to it. But one of the biggest pros is that, information is so readily available. It's so easy,
Well, and the worst part about it is a lot of people just don't know what questions to ask, because not at the same time as and this is a conundrum, at least that I've seen, and I'm sure you've seen the same thing. The more knowledge we have, the less we think with our mind. And then so, before, back in the day, you came up with this question, the idea, and then you went out and searched for it in the libraries, magazines, and all over, and asking people and talking to people, right? Now it's at your fingertips anywhere you go. And now you can't think of a good question.
Right. Asking the right questions is important. Because even let's say on the topic of diabetes, a lot of people think diabetes is just caused by sugar, but one of the leading causes of diabetes is actually eating too much animal meat. You know what I'm saying? I'm not vegan, I eat meat. Matter of fact, I'm not eating meat now. Okay. I made it a priority a couple of days ago that I'm not going to eat meat I'm giving it 90 days. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I want to do. Not for any type of reason. It's just, I always tell you, I made a video on this too in my channel where I say, are you more spiritual when you eat meat, when you eat meat or when you don't eat meat? It's not about getting rid of the meat and you're all of a sudden going to be more spiritual. I believe more or less when you just become what you naturally are, which is going beyond this body and going beyond these things, where it's literally saying I'm more spiritual. You're not going to really crave these meats anymore anyway. You get what I'm saying? Yes. The way I used to eat meat, I can't eat meat like that anymore anyway. Even when I was eating meat just recently, I was eating it maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I was eating a lot of it. Yes. But
I got a question with the meat thing. Do you think that people, when they eat meat, they eat too much of it?
Yes.
And
absolutely. It takes 3 days for the body to break apart those complex molecules to even be utilized as information. That's for one. When you cook, you're not eating the meat raw. So you got to cook the meat. You can't process the meat when it's raw. You ever try to break meat when it's raw? It's very hard. But when it's cooked, you could break it. You know what I'm saying? So the reason we cook meat is to make it more processable. You know what I'm saying? If not, we'd have a ball in our stomach trying to break down that meat. We don't have the acid glands that these carnivores have. You know, they could eat bone and all that, and they'll be able to process that efficiently.
Yeah.
So,
do you ever go out in the woods? I didn't want to interrupt, but this goes on the same point. Do you ever go out in the woods and find some coyote turds or something?
Yeah. It turns to powder.
Yeah, it turns to powder, and there you can see hair in there and bones and whatever. And you know it's coyote poop because they eat everything.
You know, the hair is actually good fiber for them. You know what I'm saying? They're on a carnivore diet, but whatever greens or like minerals they'll get from nature, it's going to come from like the animal's intestines where it's already pre-digested. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, with the meat thing, let's say if we ask the wrong questions online, we say what causes diabetes, you're going to see a bunch of sugar names come up. But if you type in a direct question, does animal meat cause diabetes? You'll be surprised what you find. Watch. And it's not even just funded by veganism. These studies are actually all over. You could type that up. It'll show you right there. Like the first thing that pops up, you'll see it from WebMD. You'll see it from, if you understand insulin spiking and, you know, the processing that the body has to take to pull apart these molecules, the protein, you know, a value, which is basically the nitrogen side of chemistry, the ammonias that are created in your body, the alcohols. Sometimes when you're processing these things, it gets passed on from the liver to the kidneys. All these things matter, man. You know, and these things are actually is what causes diabetes, is the spike in insulin. You know what I'm saying? And it is the heme iron, the nitrates and nitrites in these meats sometimes. The chemicals, because don't think you're getting these animals with no hormones or steroids or any of that stuff. Do you think that that's not affecting your endocrine system to some extent? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I believe if you're going to eat meat, at least try to get your own wild caught if you're into that. And if not, then, you know what I'm saying? Just eat much less of it, because I don't think here's the thing. Here, I'm going to give you the best example here. Do you notice when we were younger, we could eat all we want? And I remember I ate a lot of food and I still had a six pack. If I eat like that now, I'm going to start to grow sideways. Okay. Because the thing is that our growth hormone is actually a lot lower than an adult is. I mean, than a younger child is. Notice a kid, when they break a bone, they can heal a lot faster than an adult. That has a lot to do with the ability to recover a lot faster. When you eat foods, it's kind of like the same thing. You're not recovering fast enough from these foods that you're eating. You're literally recovering from the food sometimes. So when you put this complex download in there, it's like it takes longer and longer to recover sometimes when you're older, because we become more stiff, more rigid. You know, a child is more malleable. They're made more of water. That's why they're more flexible. They're more open-minded. And when they're in the womb of the mom, they're all water. You know what I'm saying? So when we're older, we're so much stiffer that we don't even have the water or the fluidity to move these things along. Our lymphatic system starts to dry out. Everything just becomes dry and stiff, more closed-minded. Because believe it or not, you can actually heal yourself with your mind as well. You can digest better with your mind and breathing properly. You know what I'm saying? It's not just the physical part of it. You could do this with in a mental state too.
Well, I kind of agree with you on a lot of I remember like old people, they always get constipated.
Right.
And they're always constipated. I'm talking, I'm sure there's people out there, but I remember when my grandma, she was always constipated, and but she was always trying to drink water. Is that because she just got old? She didn't eat a whole lot. I mean, man, what she ate, I was looking at, she would eat just a little cup of soup or something. She's full, and that was that.
The problem with, why that's happening in your mom's particular instance is that her microbiome she's got a very low ecosystem in her stomach. So when they say all health starts in the gut, health is being able to eat and eliminate properly. If you're not eliminating, you're not really in the healthy state. You get what I'm trying to say? So if she was constipated, that means that she had B12 is a bacteria, right? Yeah. Look, first of all, we have a reptilian brainstem. So we're part reptilian, we're part mammalian, we're part neomammalian. Okay. All these things are within us. We're like a hybrid being. We're a mutt, pretty much. Yeah. And if you look at how reptiles digest their food, you notice how they eat but then they go in and bask in the sunlight. The reason why is that helps their metabolism. See, animals, for example, with fur, they don't utilize the sun. They have to get those things from other animals to basically intake that D3, the hormone, which is a steroid, by the way. And that's how they do it. We have the skin and we have the ability to use the sunlight to basically produce that D3 on the skin. Like a plant, you already know that gets a symbiotic relationship happening between what's happening out here to the gut, because this is your third kidney. You know what I'm saying? And you eliminate through your skin as well. So you want to go in the sunlight and eliminate those toxins through the skin. That's why you tend to sweat. Now, the reason you get skin cancer is because a lot of these acids that people eat are actually coming out the skin, and these oils that don't belong in the body from like saturated meats and all that. And that's what's burning the skin, and that's what's causing cancer, because it's damaging the DNA. So when you eat grapes, avocados, these healthy oils coming out on the skin when you sweat in the sunlight will actually make you glow. You'll look more golden. Because why do you think people put baby oil or tanning oil on? Oil burns, oil tans you. But you want to have the right oils, because the oils from the store that you buy, these tanning oils, are actually toxic. They have a lot of chemicals in them.
Yeah, there are a lot of chemicals.
Your major lymph nodes are in your neck area right here, which is why when you get sick, you always feel these lymph nodes swell up.
Yeah, you always go like that. I know.
Right, your armpit and your groin. A lot of people don't get a lot of sunlight in their neck. A lot of people don't get a sunlight in their armpits or in their groin area. You should be getting sunlight in your balls, believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
But put the tanning thing on there and lay out in the sun.
Like
woo! Spread eagle. You know.
But it's true though. And this is where it aids your hormone levels. It aids with eliminating of toxins and whatnot. But instead, what do people do? They put perfume on their neck, right on their lymph node. They put deodorant on there, which would you bite that deodorant and eat it? No, right? Would you, axe spray on their private areas? You know what I'm saying? Like, all these things don't make sense. But then it's the programming. You got to smell a certain way. When in actuality, man, the natural scent of a man and the natural scent of a woman is a beautiful thing, because this is where you these are called pheromones, and you attract your mate that way. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that, but people are eating such toxic food, like I said, putrefaction and fermentation, that these things actually come out of their skin, and they have to basically put these things on. If not, they'll smell like hell. Why do you think when you eat a lot of garlic or onions, you'll smell like that? That's why, because these things come out of you. You know what I'm saying? Like Indian people, when they eat a lot of curry, they smell that curry spice on them, So that's why it's important to keep your body clear. It's not like, I don't want to say clean, because that's not even the right word to use. You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure you have the proper microbiome, like treat your body like you would the soil. You know what I'm saying? The bigger the ecosystem, the better the fruits are. You know what I'm saying? The better the fruits. And here's the thing though, your hair is basically connected to your nerve. Why do you think when you get scared or anxious, like, your hair stick up? You know what I'm saying? All these things basically, there's a lot of little chemistry and science happening here,
Wow. Yeah. And we've kind of forgotten all about that, because most people, when they get sick, well, the first thing they do, hello, doc, I'm coming in, check me out. I just don't feel so good. They don't think for themselves. Every little ailment, or, tell me what to eat today, doc, tell me what to do. And is the doc a nutritionist? Are you going to a nutritionist, doctor? Or is he just a guy that just says, here, take these pills and go home and you'll be better?
Well, that's what you call legal drug dealing. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, that's how it is, because the more medicine they can prescribe, the more money they make. But
unfortunately,
it's really just let's say you get a fever. You should be happy you have a fever, because you're not actually sick when you have a fever and you're in bed aching and not being able to eat. You're actually healing. You were sick before you got. Those are the symptoms of healing. Your body loses the temperature. You know what I'm saying? That's vasodilation. Why do you think when you get fevers you sweat? You get diarrhea. That's a natural detox. Matter of fact, when you go through these, processes, let's just say, like these things that happen, let them happen. Don't take no pills. Don't take anything. And I'm not, again, I got to make a disclaimer, because we're online and we're live, and, this is public. Consult your physician and blah, 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 blah. You already know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But,
I know.
I'm not a doctor, but I'm just telling you, There's a fever happening for a reason. Your body's eliminating toxins. Whatever your body doesn't want in there, it's going to do something to get rid of it. However, the healing process never feels good. This could even go with spiritual healing. Why do you think people who are, going through depression, these are spiritual healings to some extent? But a lot of people don't like to. First of all, we're here in this realm to feel. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, people are afraid to feel. They just want to feel good all the time.
Yeah,
meanwhile, sometimes that negative feeling, or what we want to call unfavorable feelings, we can utilize to make ourselves stronger. Because once you heal from the fever, all that, isn't your body stronger? Let me tell you something. After a sickness, let's say if I'm sick in bed, 3 days, fucked up, right?
Yeah.
Man, after I'm good, I feel, you don't feel that euphoria afterwards. You're like, woo, you want to just like, it's beautiful. But that's why you're vibrant now. You got rid of all this nonsense that doesn't belong in there. So think about when I told you about the liver and gallbladder flush, where you don't have to get sick, but you can actually, it's like that. You'll have a euphoric feeling. It's just a beautiful thing, man, because there's things that don't belong in there. It's because this is the thing. Those organs actually have pores. That's why you get those stones in the gallbladder, the kidneys, and the liver, right? But once you get those stones out, now the organs are breathing properly. That doesn't mean like me covering one of your nostrils. You're gonna be annoyed after a while because you're like, I can't breathe, right? So imagine what happens. You create all these acids in your body because you don't breathe properly. What do you think is happening with these organs? These organs want to breathe properly, right? They're like sponges. They're, I hope that made sense, bro.
It totally does. It totally does. Well, when people get sick, do you ever notice they come after you get sick and they go, wow, I got to get sick more often. I lost 10 pounds and I feel great now, That's another thing, man. Losing weight is actually not a bad thing, man. And the easiest way to lose weight, believe it or not, is just eliminating animal protein from your diet. Because think about this, man. The most toxins that you accumulate are in fat cells. And when you can get rid of these fats from the body, right? And flush them out with water food, you'll actually lose weight a lot faster. Intermittent fasting is very good too, because it kind of gives the body a reset. If you can optimally do 3 days, there's nothing better than that, because that's the ultimate reset button. On the third day, you literally resetted your entire immune system. So it's really it's a great thing. There's a little discipline that's going to come involved, and not everybody can do it. And also, you got to make sure that you don't have underlying health conditions, because you already know there's people who may have like, insulin resistance and whatnot. So you got to make sure, consult your physician. But I'm gonna just tell you right now, fasting is beautiful. It's one of the best it's one of the best healers, anti-aging. Because think about this, you call it fasting, right? Think about this. Look, you're fasting, but why do they call it fasting? What are you speeding up? Aren't you speeding the computer up, right? You're speeding your systems up because you're getting rid of waste. It's like when you have a computer or a phone and you start eliminating, files and apps that you don't need there. Doesn't your phone run more efficiently, right? So you get rid of weight, because if you have too much weight, you end up waiting. You know what I'm saying? Like all these words are like phenomenal. Like you could become a real good wordsmith just really paying attention and seeing how all these things, like adding weight makes you wait, but then you get rid of it, you become faster, but it also kind of opens your mind a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But then it comes down to you making sure that you could keep your mind open, like a child, not childish, but childlike, You're so right. I did the fasting. I did the 3-day fasting. And then after I did the 3-day fasting, I did like the intermittent, I did a day here or there, especially on a weekend or something. But when I did the 3-day fasting, the first time I did it or so, my experience was the first day I was really hungry, and then I felt really sluggish, and then I was really tired, and I was really grumpy and mad. Second day, I was even hungrier, and I was getting tired, and I was ready to give up, and I kept no. And then by the end of the second day, all of a sudden something happened. I wasn't hungry anymore.
That's right.
And then I started getting lots of energy. And the third day, I'm bouncing off the walls, just like you said. My mind is clear. I wasn't hungry. I was just like, woo, let's go. I'm ready to run the race.
But believe it or not,
I was sleeping good. I was working good. I was really good. That was good.
Everybody has cancer. When you could reset your body in 3 days like that, man, I mean, it's basically like you get rid of so much cancerous cells, so many things that don't belong in there. It's amazing. Now, you said you were grumpy and all that, but the way I've came to this realization as I was doing it, that it's not really me that's grumpy. It's my body that's grumpy. You get what I'm saying? So I'm like saying to my body, no, I'm not. It's like you got to really train the dog. You know what I'm saying? Like you get trained all the time. That's why when you go to the gym, you train. When you go to work, they train you. You know what I'm saying? You train your mind, but you train your body in a certain way where it's a separate entity from you. Like it's a real thing, man. Like you got to look at your body and be like, no, you deprive yourself of certain things, and believe it or not, man, it just opens you up to so much more power because you took your power back. You're losing your power every time you cave in and you become the slave to your body when your body is supposed to be, you're supposed to be the slave, the master. It's like me having my dog train me. My dog, I walk my dog, I train my dog, right? My dog isn't training me. So that's how it is. And then that's where you could either become the dog or the god of your body, because that's why the words are interchangeable. You know what I'm saying? And you look at a dog heals. Heals means obedience, but then healing is also healing power. You get what I'm saying? So these words all mean different things, but they can be used in different ways too.
Oh, I totally agree. Well, and here's the thing when you're talking about training your body, you're exactly right. So after I did that 3-day fast, then I did other fasts afterwards, kind of on a regular basis. And you're exactly right, because now that I remember how to do the fasting, when I get hungry, I just tell myself no, and that I'm not hungry. I don't need it, and I'm good. I might feel a little bit hungry, but now I don't get that grumpiness. I can go without food for a long time. I may feel hungry, but it's no big deal now.
No,
I've regained my control, man. I'm back to being the master of my own world.
Believe it or not, you feel the power. Like you feel more power. Like you took your power back. Now here's the thing, though. I know Isby said that it's not good for a diabetic to fast. That's what I was saying. Yeah, diabetics need to be careful, but because most of these diabetics are on insulin. So the moment you start, it's like a guy who does steroids. You kind of shut the endocrine system down. The moment, and insulin is a hormone. Like once you start to inject these insulin shots in you, it's like it's hard for your pancreas or your body to actually start to go back to normal and be able to become insulin resistant, right? Now, Organic Intelligence said fruit fasting is good for diabetics. This is 100% fact. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the times, the first thing they say, oh, what about the sugars? First of all, you have to understand the glycemic index. You know what I'm saying? Like certain fruits have a very low to no glycemic index, such as like, fruit, berries, and melons. They have a very low glycemic index. In fact, your blood sugar levels will drop being on nothing but fruit. But however, see, there's the problem though. If you're diabetic and you're trying to reverse these symptoms, you cannot eat anything else but the fruit, berries, and melons. Because the moment that you eat fruit, berries, and melons with something else, your blood sugar levels will go up. You get what I'm saying? So you have to just eat fruit, berries, and melons if you're diabetic and you're not on insulin shots or medication. It will reverse you. Consult your physician. But I'm only saying that as a because we're live. But it is. That's why I said research Dr. Robert Morse. If you don't believe what I'm saying, but this guy really explains it in such a way where it's very easy to understand. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna explain it pretty much the way I'm explaining it. And how different systems come into play and harmonize with each other. And this is just basically how it works, man. Fruit, berries, and melons are God's food. That's real medicine food. That's the real food of the gods. I actually made a video on my channel, The Real Tea of the Gods. I believe wholeheartedly in this concoction that I made. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then when you go on my channel, then, of course, you go and look up my video. It says Real Tea of the Gods. I actually grow these things, which is lemongrass, mugwort or wormwood, ginger, cinnamon, licorice root, and basil, but it's got to be the red basil, and mint. That's my concoction. I boil the water, and then once the water is boiled, I serve it and I throw these herbs in there. And once I do that, I like to actually drink it cold. So once I do that, I let them brew in that water. Then I put it in the refrigerator, and believe it or not, the next day I dress it up with a little bit of raw organic, raw organic honey, like the purest honey you can get. I actually get it local too from farmers. And then I squeeze a little lemon in. Okay. I'm gonna tell you right now, it is one of the most refreshing things I've ever had. It's amazing. It's beautiful. But aside from that, the funny thing is that the color that this drink turns into is magenta. It's like a magenta color. It's like a real amazing color. Like it's a very vibrant color. But it's like none of those herbs are that color. But it turns into that color. You get what I'm trying to say? It's like amazing how it's like how all that works. I made that mix, and I'm such a firm believer in it because it's like, you know, yeah, there's a placebo stuff that happens, but I grow it. It's my own yard, and I use no chemical. Plus, it's like each one, when you study each one of those herbs, again, they hold a specific frequency and vibration. And if you learn where and how it helps your autonomic nervous system, it absolutely helps your adrenals because of it's amazing. This is real medicine, you know. I drink it from time to time, and it's something that I really like encourage people to try out. It's really amazing.
You're a food alchemist.
Yeah,
but like you said, let your food be your medicine.
And you know what? I didn't do any research on that. I actually just one day was just making a mix, and it was just on the fly. Like I was just doing it, but I was like in a zone. And I actually eventually ended up adding rosemary to it, and it really made the mix even better. I grow some cannabis, you know, and I actually added a little bit of cannabis to one of the mixes that I did. And of course, it was very good as well, you know. But everybody can try out and even add whatever you want to it. But you know, sometimes when you can go into a zone and just do it, if you want to, you know, it really works very well. It's like something is talking to me.
Awesome. Well, you know what? I can't believe our hour has flown by already. Believe it or not. Oh my gosh. It goes so fast, just like that. You know, but I tell you what, I've learned so much tonight, and it's really inspired me. Maybe go back to do some fasting, and we didn't even read much of the book, but you know, but it starts out a good conversation now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I hope everybody else in here has learned some stuff too. I know Ed Hagel said something about a healthy food costs more, and he is right. You know, healthy food is a little more expensive, but you know what? You get more value out of it anyway.
Well, here's the thing though. Healthy food is more expensive, right? But what is healthy food? You know what I'm saying? The thing is, when you're eating the right food, it like you don't have to worry about price because you're not really, your body's not going to ask you for so much food. When you're eating the right things, believe it or not, you don't even get hungry. If you go eat pizza and cheeseburgers and all these Doritos, I bet you always feel hungry because it's a drug food. That's why drugs are addictive. You're going to always want to eat more of it. You get what I'm saying? So that's why you got to know the difference between like food and drugs. That's why Food and Drug Administration is in the same category. So if you eat the right foods, believe it or not, you won't feel hungry. I've done this experiment. If I eat foods from my yard, I'm not that hungry. When I start to eat stuff, conventional American diet, oh man, I want to eat a load of it. You know? So it's not, if you eat the right stuff, money ain't an issue when it comes to your health anyway. But either way, if you can learn how to grow these things, and if you can't, let's say if you do get the right foods and you learn, you know, how to at least go to a farmer's market, I'm gonna tell you right now, you really won't even think about the money you're spending because you're not gonna be eating the amount of food you think you're gonna eat, you know? You'll look better too.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I go to the gym, I lift weights, and I honestly don't intake the amount of protein that people think I'm intaking. I'll tell you that right now. I don't even take I don't even think I take 30 grams of protein a day. Honestly, I'm eating a lot more fruits and a lot, and of course less of the animal meat. But if I do eat any protein, I'll eat lentils here and there. But a lot of it is just more like the water foods, you know. And I think that's what's keeping the muscle bellies full because your body's made of water, right?
Yes.
So
yes, a lot of water in us, water and a little bit of minerals. You know, and so it's all works out. But anyway, we got to get going because I got another show tomorrow. Believe it or not. And we got Isby says, oh, hang out some more, but I'll be back tomorrow. We got a lot of stuff coming up. We got Kathy Umber from Starseed Starseed Academy coming on this weekend. And in the future, we got the what's his name? Preston. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Gosh, I'm bad with names. She never wrote down. But anyway, we got all these people coming up, huh?
And shout out to everybody in the chat, man. At least I can see it. And I want to say thank you to everybody. You know, and Al, you the man, bro. Thank you for that. And you know, Organic Intelligence, Isby, Project Skyfalls, everybody, man. You know.
Oh yeah, they're awesome people. They're awesome. And don't forget, Lucky Stone made a great video about Krampus, and I loved it. It's really good. Story of Krampus. You want to hear Krampus story? Yeah. Go to Lucky Stone, check him out. He made a great video about Krampus, and he's got props to show too on there. So nice. Anyway, tomorrow we're gonna be back with hopefully David Null and another American Native American myths and legends. So join us tomorrow night if everything goes right. And thank you, Isby, for oh gee, I feel bad for him now. He says seeing you tomorrow night. I feel bad. He says the VA killed my. Oh, I'm sorry, man. Oh, geez. Yeah. Anyway, Zig Zag Zilla, thank you for coming on tonight. I'm glad I made it, and I'm glad I didn't miss your. I'm sorry. I'm still sorry I missed your email, and we'll do this again. By gosh, I really love this, and I'm going to send you one of these books because we did this last time, and this will be in the mail to you. And I suggest. I think Lucky Stone had this book. And
I got the book you sent me. Very useful too. So I appreciate you for sending me this.
Oh, hey, no problem. But if you do go online, get this book. We're going to be going through this book too. It's a real good book. It was really cheap. This is a hardcover version. It was only a few bucks, like $5-6. So health books are cheap. Yeah, do your own. You know, never know what the world's going to come up to be. Remember to go over to Brighteon and check out the worldwide roundtable discussion in the descriptions and below. Go to Brighteon, check it out. Subscribe to the Milky Way Soul Tribe on there, because you never know how long before YouTube says, hey, you guys were talking about health stuff. You're out of here. You never know. And they'll ban you forever. Anything, you know, we could say twiddly dee, and they go, oh, twiddle, twiddle. You said twiddle, you're out. You know. Anyway, remember, be the frequency you want to receive. I love you all, everybody. And we will see you tomorrow.
Peace out, everybody.